Hey, what's up? It is Dan or DMad96 here, and welcome back to our F1 Manager career mode with Stewart GP. And in today's episode, we will be attending the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos. Last year, we finished 4th in this race with Johnny Herbert. Rubens Barrichello had a bit of a disappointing race, retiring from what looked like could have been a podium finish. But this season, we're hoping to do a lot better. Obviously, got a much better car, and of course, we finished 2nd and 3rd with our two drivers, Villeneuve and Frentzen, last time out in Australia, only finishing a few seconds behind the race winner Mclaren. And of course, he leads the championship going into this race. Also, we've got to look out for these guys like Jarno Trulli, Williams and David Coulthard, who put on decent performances, as well as Michael Schumacher and Patrick Lemery, and the two Jordan drivers as well. As despite them having a lot slower cars than us, I think they could pose a decent threat, really, because they showed good pace in Australia before both retiring. And in the Constructors' Championship, it's pretty close at the top. Both ourselves and Ferrari on 10 points each. Ferrari should actually be ahead due to their countback of race positions that they have over us. Obviously, Hackman has to win compared to our 2nd place. And then Benson and Williams are also tied on points. It's still early days. A lot of teams have yet to score. You can see pretty much everyone else on 0. Whilst in the Team Manager Championship, we are still leading that, ahead of John Toth in 2nd. Frank Williams, the biggest gainer, from last up to 3rd, and then Ron Dennis falling straight down to the bottom after both cars were retiring. Alright, so we have some news announcements. Jordan will be keeping Honda PGM-IG electronics for next year, and BAR will be keeping their Brembo brakes. We've also got another news confirmation with Benetton actually confirming Magneti Marelli electronics. They're rumoured to get them, and now they've actually confirmed them. So I think we've had 4 confirmations already. Minardi confirmed their engines for next year, and then we've had electronic confirmations from Jordan and Benetton, as well as brake confirmations from BAR. Right, so before we move on to the first practice session for the Brazilian Grand Prix, we are bringing a few upgrades to this weekend. We do have our 2nd model of engines, which we'll be using, as well as our 3rd model of electronics and 3rd model of brakes. So that's good, as well as the 3rd model of front wings and rear wings. We also have the 3rd model of side pods and the 3rd model of barge walls and suspensions as well. So the car should be good for this weekend, and hopefully it will be a lot better than Australia, and we can keep that close gap to Ferrari. And hopefully go one better than the previous race in Australia and get that win. So I'll see you guys down at the track for the first practice session. Okay, so practice has just finished for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and you can see there by the results, Jacques Villeneuve is the fastest driver. Interesting session indeed, only 2 tenths quicker than the 2 Ferrari drivers who put in late laps towards the end to get back at the head of Heinz-Harald and Frentzen, who eventually dropped down to 4th. So it seems pretty close between the top 4 now, but looking behind, Rubens Barrichello and Michael Schumacher extremely close to 5th and 6th. Patrick Lemery 2 seconds off the pair of them in 7th, and the other Jordan of Eddie Irvine way off in 8th place. Whilst in the midfield we have David Coulthard and Pedro de Rosa's Prost scrapping out as well, with Damon Hill in the Sauber having a brilliant lap to qualify 11th, and then Alexander Wirtz behind his teammate in 12th. Whilst the back of the grid could be a battle between Prost, BAR, Sumarius and Arrows drivers, who are currently in the bottom 6 positions. So very interesting practice session. Now it's time to move on to the qualifying report. The biggest talking point of qualifying was that Jacques Villeneuve will start at the back of the grid after crashing out on his first flying lap. Olivier Panis was once again faster than Minardi teammate Genet, as was Mika Salo, who also beats John Lasley for the 2nd time. It was a better qualifying for Ricardo Zonta, who qualifies 2 positions behind the 13th place Damon Hill. The 2 BARs were directly behind each Sauber, with Fisichella the highest placed driver. Pedro de la Rosa once again puts in another good performance across, qualifying 12th. David Coulthard and Alex Wirtz line up 10th and 11th respectively, behind the 2 Williams cars, with Johnny Herbert 8th. Jordan and Mclaren fill in positions 4 to 7, with Rubens Barrichello and Michael Schumacher leading the way. This time it was Ralf Schumacher the fastest of the 2 Ferrari drivers, but he wasn't on pole position. As to the delight of many, Heinz-Harald Frentzen has managed to secure Stewart's first ever pole position after his teammates' disastrous qualifying. Will the German be able to hold off the 2 Ferraris and take a famous win for Stewart? It's time to move on to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Okay, so qualifying has just finished here in Interlagos, and we're having a look at the strategies now. Both drivers are doing a one-stop strategy, and, well, certainly it will be an interesting race, especially Jaap Villeneuve. He's starting last today, and that's because after his outlap, he crashed the car. So he wasn't able to set a competitive enough lap time, so it's going to be a charge through the field for Jaap Villeneuve starting at the back. Heinz-Harald Frentzen is on pole position, so he'll have the advantage out in front, and he has secured the team's first pole position under me as their manager. But he has got 2 Ferraris to watch out behind. They will be a certain threat. He's got to hope he stays ahead of Ralph going down towards turn 1. It's going to be an exciting one. I can't wait to get this race underway. So, we're about to get underway with Heinz-Harald Frentzen on pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix. He secured Stewart GP's first pole position this season, and we are underway, and it looks like the Ferrari's got to a much better start than Frentzen going down towards turn 1. But no, I think Frentzen's just going to hold the lead, keeping the outside line, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen holds first place here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. And how long can he stay in the lead for? Obviously his teammate Jaap Villeneuve is way down the order in 22nd position. He'll be making a charge through the field, but look at the gap that Frentzen's already pulled off with the 2 Ferraris behind. And well, what a good start from Frentzen. He leads so far, like I said. I think Ralf Schumacher's held on to second place with Mika Häkkinen in third. Whilst Jaap Villeneuve, let's take a look at him. I think he is making his way through the field. He's into 21st position. He has passed, I think it was Mika Häkkinen in the arrow. So yeah, you can see he's now going past Minardi. A brilliant overtake from Villeneuve, slowly making his way back through the field. But Minardi trying to find a way back past him here. Villeneuve now up into 19th position, passing the other arrows of John Alesi. So Villeneuve on a huge charge now for the field. And what a brilliant drive it would be if he can finish at least on the podium here. Whilst Heinz-Harald Frentzen, look at the gap that he has to the rest of the field. He's doing a fantastic job obviously setting the fast lap in lap 1, but look at the gap he has to the 2 Ferrari drivers. They are absolutely nowhere. A superb start from Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who leads this Grand Prix at the end of lap 1. Ralf Schumacher has just passed Rubens Barrichello to be in fact, so Barrichello now dropping down to third. Häkkinen closing back as well, but can anyone stop Frentzen for the time being? It's a bit too early to say though. But one driver certainly on the move is Jaap Villeneuve. He's now all the way up to 8th on lap 5. He's right behind the Mclaren of, I think, is Michael Schumacher. It's quite hard to say, but he is behind a Mclaren. And if it is Michael Schumacher, it will be going back in time here to 1997 when these two were championship rivals. Then we've got the Williams of Johnny Herbert holding on to 6th position, and I think for McLaren of Schumacher is going to try and get past the Williams as well, going down towards turn 1. And I couldn't really tell if there was an overtake there, but Villeneuve is right behind these two. The McLaren gets past the Williams, and it shouldn't be too long until Villeneuve gets past them as well. So Frentzen's back on push, and the gap's more or less staying the same at 10 seconds. Villeneuve though into 4th position and catching Mika Häkkinen. He is right behind the Ferrari driver now. Frentzen though is just controlling things out in front, and Villeneuve has passed Häkkinen. And what a drive from Jaap Villeneuve. He has made his way all the way up to 3rd position despite starting dead last. Ralf Schumacher slowly dropping back to Frentzen. Pit stops around the corner though, and Ralf Schumacher's out of the race. The engine's gone from the Ferrari, and that's put Villeneuve back into 2nd now. Eddie Irvine's gone from the race as well. A shame, he was having a good run. He's out due to a tyre failure. Pit stops around the corner though, and Frentzen's lead is actually decreasing to his teammate Villeneuve. And Villeneuve's pitting first. Villeneuve's in the pits now. This could be crucial. Frentzen's staying out on track. He will be going to the pits as well. Actually, this lap, so Frentzen now has a 58-second lead over Villeneuve, and I don't see a Ferrari on track. Häkkinen, I think, is out. Yes, he is. Both Ferraris are out of the race. I think we could relax here, maybe put both cars on hold position. So both drivers have pitted, and Frentzen is leading this race. He has got back markers to go in the way, but it's been a brilliant drive from Frentzen, but Villeneuve is catching him up strong here. We put both cars on hold position because, well, I'm not actually going to put them back onto push now because the Jordan of Barrichello is right up behind Villeneuve. And actually Barrichello, I think, has apparently passed Villeneuve. So if one thing could be helping Frentzen to win this race, it might be this man Barrichello, who's just taken 2nd. But I probably would expect Villeneuve to catch him up and repass him very soon. The Stewart is much faster than the Jordan. But this is Barrichello's home Grand Prix. We remember what happened last year at his home Grand Prix. Disappointment when he was in third place and he retired with only about 4 laps from the end. Can he redeem himself here? Barrichello can't redeem himself here because Villeneuve's just taken back second place. And he has pulled away from Rubens Barrichello. Meanwhile, let's take a look back down the order of the field. We've got Michael Schumacher in 4th position. He's going to get his first points with McLaren. And there's Patrick Lamerie as well. He's down in 5th, a couple of laps down, I think. Yeah, in fact, he's 2 laps down. Schumacher's actually not quite been lapped yet. Whilst Johnny Herbert in 6th could be getting his first point for Williams. So at least our drivers are doing well with other teams. Especially Barrichello, he's in 3rd. Frentzen's just started his final lap here for Stewart. He is about to make history. And Villeneuve as well, sitting in 2nd. What a result this is going to be.
12 seconds later.
Oh no! No! No!
Hello darkness, my old friend.
No! Frentzen's out! Oh my god! On the final lap! Oh shit! Oh, absolute heartbreak for Frentzen. Absolute heartbreak. And Villeneuve has just been gifted the win. Well, a race can't get more dramatic than that. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who absolutely dominated this race, is out on the final lap. But I can't really complain too much. It would have been a 1-2 finish. That would have been amazing. And we would have been so far ahead of Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. Both cars, of course, failing to finish. But it doesn't matter anyway because it's going to be Jacques Villeneuve in the luckiest of circumstances is coming round the final corner here at Interlagos, and Jacques Villeneuve is going to secure the team's first ever victory. Get in there! Wow. What a result. What a result. Rubens Barrichello, so our former driver, is going to finish on the podium. And remember what happened to him last year. He was going to finish in 3rd for us and he retired with only a few laps to go. Not as in dramatic sort of circumstances what Frentzen had happened to him today. But it's going to be 2nd place for Jordan. And Barrichello taking that as well. Our former driver finishing on the podium. Jordan having a fantastic result for this weekend. And Michael Schumacher, I actually want to go on board with him here, who moved to McLaren, who thought it was, everyone thinking it was a disastrous move with 4 Zetec engines, but Schumacher proving that he is quick enough to push that car to the limit. He's going to take 3rd place in McLaren after all the retirements we've had today. Michael Schumacher will take 3rd. Patrick Lamerie still has a couple of laps to go, but he's going to secure a brilliant 4th. Jarno Trulli's going to take 5th. And it looks like David Coulthard, he is going to finish in 6th place. But what a result that was, and Frentzen's engine expired. It was an engine failure in the end. Only 1 lap to go. Oh my god, I can't believe that. We were so close to a 1-2, and Frentzen dominated that entire race. And just to lose it right at the end. But Jacques Villeneuve, let's not forget, started this race in last, has probably produced one of the greatest drives in Formula 1 history, and has taken a fantastic win. And that's moved us to the top of both championships now, thanks to McLaren not scoring. So now it's time to move on to the championship standings, and like I mentioned earlier, Jacques Villeneuve is now the championship leader after 2 races, moving on to 16 points thanks to both Ferraris failing to finish. Barrichello moves into 3rd, Jarno Trulli scoring another 2 points this weekend, now 4th in the championship. Frentzen shunted down to 5th. Oh my god, Frentzen. An engine failure on the final lap. How cruel can this game be? That is an absolute shame. I feel very sorry for him because he would have won that race. Absolutely dominated it. But it's just a big shame for him. Schumacher also getting his first points on the board, moving up to 6th. Coulthard in 7th, Lamerie 8th, and Alexander Wirtz, last remaining point scorer at the moment, in 9th position. Still plenty of drivers yet to score. Now you can see as well, the Constructors' Championship, we are now 10 points clear of Ferrari thanks to Villeneuve's fantastic victory. McLaren moving up to 3rd ahead of Jordan, despite Barrichello actually finishing on the podium. I don't think Eddie Irvine has actually scored yet. No, he hasn't. But Barrichello taking a good result for Jordan. Williams also in 5th, doing much better than they did last year, with Benetton in 6th. Arrows, BAR, Minardi, Prost and Sauber still yet to score. And in the Team Manager Championship, I think there's not really much to say. We are absolutely dominating right now. Miles ahead of Ferrari, John Tart, well, safe to say, dropping down to second by an absolute long way after both drivers retiring. That was an awful weekend for him. But here's the interesting thing. Despite not scoring at all in both races, Tom Walkinshaw is in 3rd for Arrows. Well, that is also very surprising. I think he must have had a brilliant result in Interlagos and also in Australia as well. But Tom Walkinshaw in 3rd, Frank Williams in 4th, Eddie Jordan dropping down to 5th, and Ron Dennis still at the bottom in dead last. Just an excellent weekend for us, really, to take that win as well. And we hope to repeat that success as we go into Imola for the next round of the San Marino Grand Prix. And, well, if today was very successful, Imola is a track where pretty much anything can happen, so I don't know, we could probably get like maybe 1 finisher, 2 finishes, anything can happen at this track normally. Let's hope Frentzen has a much better weekend than what happened to him in Interlagos. I just feel so sorry for the guy. He deserved to win that race. He started on pole position and he dominated the entire thing, but again, engine failure on the last lap, that's just cruel. That is just too cruel, really. But Villeneuve, we can't criticise him really, because he started last. He had a crashing qualifying and he won the race. He was going to finish second. It was going to be a brilliant drive to second, but to take the win from last, no one's done that before. No one's ever done that before, and Jacques Villeneuve has just done it. He's taken the win from last on the grid, and we can't really fault him for that. But hopefully you can have a much better result, maybe get a 1-2 next time in Imola. It was just cruel for Frentzen to lose it on the last lap in Brazil, but like I said, we've got a new race coming up soon and anything can happen. Many retirements have happened in this race, and if last year's race was anything to speak of, this one should certainly be fantastic. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's fantastic race. If you have, please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and for more racing game content as well. Till next time guys, it's been DMath96. I'll catch you guys later.
You pull apart side to side, and I know there's something between us with nothing inside. Nothing at all. You pull apart.